Hey guys, it's Alexis.
And Isabel.
And you're about to hear a fire message from the series Fine Line.
Fine Line, like Harry Styles'
Harry
album.
Styles, oh my gosh.
God.
Unfortunately, it's not about dating.
No, it's not.
I mean, not about Harry Styles. It's about dating.
Oh yeah, the message is about dating, not Harry Styles. But it's okay, because like if I end up dating Harry Styles one day, then
it'll be relevant. It'll be
relevant.
relevant.
Yeah, it would be so.
That will be fine.
That'd be so
you
fun.
can apply what you learn here and take it with you.
Yeah.
And meet Harry Styles. Anyway, follow us on our socials. What's the IG?
The IG is at Cedarcrest_high school, and we have a TikTok too,
no.
with that same at Cedarcrest_high school.
And on TikTok, if you miss a message, you can go see the highlights of it the next week.
Yeah.
Super fun.
It's gonna be great, so don't miss that.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But let me not bore you with any more details. Just enjoy the message, and we'll see you after.
Peace.
Peace.
What is up, Cedarcrest High School? My name's Justin, if we haven't met yet, and I have a confession to make. I did not have my first girlfriend until I was a junior in high school, and it was a train wreck. You see, I had showed up to this church that I had not been going to for very long. It was my first experience with their student ministry. And I was asked a question that, by the way, if you're ever in this spot where you show up to church and you get asked this question, whether it's your first time or your 1000th time, the answer is the same: no. But I didn't know that. So this girl walks up to me, she says, "Hi, you don't know me, but I was wondering, will you pretend to be my boyfriend for the night?" I was like, "Sure. Why not?" Well, the next day we decided that we were gonna no longer pretend to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and we were gonna actually be boyfriend and girlfriend. Side note, completely different topic. That's not how it should go down. It should never go that fast. But anyway, I digress. The relationship was horrible. This girl and I had nothing in common at all. Everyone around us knew it was a bad idea. My dad was the first one to call it out. And as a high schooler, I was like, "Dad, what do you know?" Apparently he knew a lot more than I gave him credit for. All my friends began to say, "Justin, like, this girl just doesn't seem to be a good fit for you." But I didn't want to see it. So one day I'm sitting at my brother's soccer game, and a dad of one of his teammates walks up. He's a guy that I really, really respect. And he says to me, "How are you?" It's like, "Great." I begin to tell him all about this relationship that I'm in. And he looks at me and he laughs and he goes, "So when are you going to break up with her?" So what do you mean? Because, "Justin, you're in an unhealthy relationship. The first thing you need to do is break up." So the next day, we broke up. It didn't go well. Like, she freaked out. Actually, she would call my house every day for the next 2 months. This is before we had cell phones. And so she would leave a voicemail for everyone in my family to hear. I would rush home trying to be the first one to get there to listen to the voicemail so no one else heard it, because it typically went something like this. "This message is for Justin. Justin, you know who this is. You know that I care about you. In fact, you know that I'm thinking about you right now. And if you don't reconsider us breaking up, I will find you." Terrifying. See, here's the thing. When we're in a relationship with the wrong person, everyone around us knows it, but we don't always see it. That's why it's so important who you spend your time with. We need people speaking into our lives. Now, maybe you're in a relationship, or maybe you're not in a relationship, but my guess is at some point, either previously, right now, or in the future, you're going to ask this question: how do I find the right person to be in a relationship with? It's a great question, and it's not something we should take lightly, and it's not something that it just pertains to high school students. I mean, this is like a big deal. The person you choose to spend your life with, it matters. The wisest man to ever live is a guy by the name of Solomon. One day, God said to Solomon, hey, anything you ask for, I'll give you. What do you want? And Solomon said, I want wisdom. And God gave him more wisdom than anyone else outside of his son Jesus. I mean, it was incredible. And we can find some of the wisdom that Solomon had in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 25 verse 24 says this: better to live on the corner of a roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. The Message translation says something like, it's better to live in a broke down, beat up shack than to live in a mansion with a nagging wife. Like, the person that you spend your life with, the person that you choose to be in a relationship with, it's going to have major implications on every aspect of your life. Because when things go wrong in a relationship, they probably go wrong elsewhere. Last week we began this conversation around a guy named Samson. Samson is the guy, if you don't remember, he had the long hair with the big muscles, and he made a few unwise choices and resulted in some, well, we'll get to that part later. Last week we talked about how Samson went to the land of his enemy, and he actually did what God said don't do. He chose to pursue a woman who did not believe in the same things he believed in. Now, there's a difference between being in a relationship with someone who has different interests than you. That's great. But to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't place the same value on God that you do, that's going to be a problem. And that's exactly what Samson and Delilah had. Samson believed in God and Delilah did not. And when we yoke ourselves, or we connect ourselves with someone who has differing views on the most important subjects in life, like faith and God and Jesus, we can easily be pulled away from what we believe. So here Samson is. He's in love with this woman, and he's a party. At the party, there's 30 guys there, and a bet gets put on the table. Samson has to create a riddle, and if no one can answer the riddle, well, then Samson's going to get a whole new wardrobe, 30 brand new outfits. However, if even one person can solve the riddle, then Samson has to give that very same thing to all of them. So Samson lays out this riddle, and it's amazing. It's like gold. Nobody can figure it out. So these 30 people, they go to Delilah, and they say, hey, solve the problem, solve the riddle, or we will give you a brand new problem, and it's one that you will not want. So Delilah goes to Samson, and she's like, hey, what's the answer? Samson's like, I'm not going to tell you. She keeps going. Hey, tell me the answer. I haven't even told my family, Samson says. Tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Tell me, please. It's kind of like how my son responds when he wants a brand new monster truck. But she does this for like a week straight. I mean, there's red flags everywhere. Problem, danger. This is not a good relationship. We have a problem here. Eventually, Samson gives in. He's like, okay, here's the answer. She goes and she tells the 30 guys. They come back, solve the riddle, and now Samson finds himself in a whole new situation, one that he never should have been in. Why? Well, when we date the wrong person, everything else goes wrong. So, the key takeaway from this segment of Samson's story is choose to date the right person. Okay, well that's great, but how do we do that? What's the best practice on choosing the right person? Paul, who is considered to be one of the greatest missionaries of all time, started churches all across the world. He says to a church in Corinth, in a letter he wrote, it's actually the second letter he wrote them, 2 Corinthians 6:14, he says this: do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? The Message translation actually goes on to say something like, can light be friends with dark? Does Christ go on strolls with the devil? See, what Paul was saying here is don't be equally yoked. Don't be paired with someone who doesn't believe the same things about God. Otherwise, things are going to go wrong. You're going to be pulled in so many different directions. Not only was Delilah just not a troublemaker for Samson, she actually encouraged Samson to drift away from his relationship with God. See, our dating relationship and even our friendship relationships, we need to ask this question: how can light live with darkness? See, when we live with darkness, light can exist. My son is a huge fan of nightlights. We go into his room every night and he's like, "Daddy, turn on the nightlight. Daddy, turn on the nightlight. Turn the nightlight on." And he's like, "Okay, great. I'm safe." But when we spend time with dark, what ends up happening is we actually cover our light. And we're no longer able to shine the way that God created us to. See, you and I were made in the image of God. We were created to reflect the image of God, the world around us, like only we can. And when we surround ourselves with darkness, we actually crush the light. We prevent it from being seen. When we surround ourselves with the wrong kind of people, we get the wrong kind of outcome. So, how do we remove the dark? Remove that darkness so that our light can actually shine. I think it's actually quite simple. Who am I choosing to spend the most amount of time with? Ask that question. See, maybe you're in a relationship right now, you're dating someone, and everyone around you is like, this is a really bad idea. Like, you guys argue, fight all the time. Maybe you are suffering from the consequences of an unhealthy relationship. Or maybe you're thinking about stepping into a relationship with someone that does not believe what you believe. Again, it's not about interests. It's not about I like coffee and they don't, therefore we can't hang out. It's about the things that matter most in life. You see, there's this incredible statement. I think it was C.S. Lewis that said it, but maybe I'm wrong. He said, what you think about God is the most important thing about you. See, what you think about God is the most important thing about you. And so if you think that God is the number one thing in your life and you are choosing to spend time, the time that is most influential for you with people who don't think that, you're going to end up being pulled away. See, my invitation is this. Choose to let your light shine. And when you do, you will actually see God bless your relationships. And then we will get to experience what Jesus said he came to do, is to bring life to the full. We have an enemy who comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus says he comes to bring life and life to the full. And that's what I want for you, my brothers and my sisters. So let's pursue healthy relationships. Let's pursue relationships that allow our light that comes from Jesus Christ to shine in us. And when we do, let's watch how God blesses that. Till next time, guys. Peace.
What's up, guys? It's Isabel.
And Alexis.
Back again after
I
that
know.
fine line message about relationships.
You're probably like mind blown.
blind blown.
Sorry.
Mind blown. Anyway, if you want to, and I know you want to, you should follow us on our Instagram, which is
At Cedarcrest_high school.
Oh my God, she got
I
it.
got
guys.
it, guys.
Clap.
And follow us on TikTok at the same.
Yes, for snippets of the message and just fire content in general.
You know, some dances are gonna be on there eventually.
That's tea. Anyway, we'll see you next week, guys. Peace
Peace out.